You know, I was a bookworm and shy and quiet, and people don't believe the shy thing, but I was very much, and awkward and definitely bullied. And so I can tell him that things change. Mm-hmm. You know, you
can tell them, but
I'm his mom. I'm supposed to think he's wonderful and fabulous and give him hope. And so what I ask for is people to write him letters just to give him.
It was a call to action.
Yeah, give him some encouragement. And it was shared so many times that I couldn't keep up with thanking people. And then some of them were shared by people that are on the public page.
Okay.
It garnered me a lot more subscribers, so I need to get busy and actually write for the blog. But so far, I got a post office box because I'm not stupid. I'm not going to give people...
I saw that. I'm like, smart lady.
Yeah, I'm not giving people... I have some crazy people on my Facebook page, and I'm not giving them my address, for sure. So I got a post office box, and I got... My headphones are falling off. So far, he's gotten almost 400 letters.
Oh my gosh!
So we're a little overwhelmed at the moment. Just trying to
go over the call to action. What you were asking people to do?
I was asking people to write him letters of encouragement. You know, letting him know that as he gets older, people are going to embrace him. They're going to, he'll find his own tribe. Mm-hmm. They will embrace him. I haven't even read too many of them yet. I've been extremely busy with work and.
I bet that'll be hard to read.
Yeah, it'll take a while. One thing that's very, that's from responses I've gotten some emailed too, and those I've read. You know, a few people said, I know you wanted a hand letter, but...
who does that? No,
yeah, I know myself, and I know I won't get to it, so I hope this is okay. And of course it's okay. A common theme, though, is I think there's a lot more people who have been bullied than there are actual bullies,
I was bullied in school.
Yeah, most people. I don't think most people feel like they fit in,
Right. It's hard being a kid. It's hard being a teenager. I was a church-going girl that I had a lot of energy. It was like, I remember being like, whoa, I wish I could calm down, like a little hyperactive. I'm sure they would diagnose me with something these days. And people would make fun of me. They were horrible. Mm-hmm. And I went back for my 10-year reunion, and those bullies were like, I'm so sorry, Janet. Yeah. They realize that we grow up.
Right.
We realize how silly it is.
Yeah.
But back then, I would go home crying and just not want to leave the house because I didn't want to see anyone. And it was so bad. And it was worse at church. Mm-hmm. There's some mean bullies at church. But
oh, definitely. There's also some of the worst kids are pastors' children.
Yes. So, 400 letters. That's What's the PO box for us to let's double it. 800.
Geez,
800.
I'm not even sure what it is.
It's all over Facebook.
Yeah.
I think I've only shared it a couple times, and I think how has it affected your son?
He has only read one or two, so he's not.
What is he? Is it helping him?
Well, he hasn't had the opportunity because he's been extremely busy, and I've been extremely busy, and I so don't want to sound like I'm ungrateful because I'm extremely grateful. It's just finding the time now to sit down.
You should put them all in a book.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think what I'm going to do is just like a scrapbook kind of deal.
Do it slow. Read one a night. You could turn this into an actual book to be published. Mm-hmm.
That's
Carrie,
a good idea.
Get on it.
That's a really good idea.
Can I be the co-author?
I mean, I could write yes, absolutely. I could write a whole thing about...
No, it could be like your blog could be the start of the book and then just the letters of encouragement. And it could be shared to the whole world, to those that are being bullied. Because there's so many of us that are bullied.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. So you want the P.O. box?
I don't know if you actually think it's a good idea or not. Yes. Okay, guys, get your pen and paper. Wait for it.
Okay.
Get your pen and paper. All right. P.O. Box. We're going to write letters of encouragement to Carrie's son.
P.O. Box 31201 in Aurora, Colorado, 841.
And just put Carrie McCloud?
Yeah.
There you go.
And they will come to him.
Seriously, get on that book idea.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
You've gone out, like you said you would in 2015.
You've
been very out there and busy.
Yeah, I have gone out. I went to the movies. I went to Grizzly Rose. Yeah, there. Okay, twice. I've gone out twice. No, yesterday I got to have lunch with, I found my childhood best friend on Facebook.
Oh, how did that go?
It was great. We went to lunch. We went to Chili's.
Okay. You love Chili's.
Apparently I do.
I love their
It's the place I think of. It's just the place I think of. Where you want to meet? Chili's. Chili's is good. So
because it's everywhere.
Yeah. So we went to Chili's in 3.5 hours, and it was comfortable. That was the whole thing. It was totally comfortable. Like, you know, I mean, a lot of time has passed. We haven't seen each other in 20 years.
There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah. So, but it was comfortable. There was no, you know, sometimes you get together with those people from the past and it's a little bit awkward and you've changed a great deal, but it's very comfortable. And some aspects of our lives have been so parallel, even
That's
without,
crazy.
Yeah. So it was so incredibly awesome. So I will definitely hang out with her more often and invite her to some girls' nights and.
That'd be great. And she's here in town. Has she always been here in town?
Yep.
What happened? Life.
I'm blaming
What
her
happened?
husband.
Life.
I'm blaming her ex-husband. Yeah, life. You grow
Always
up, you grow apart.
Blame life and men. Yep. That's crazy. You just pointed something out to me that's like, whoa. A couple podcasts ago, my woman crush was Monica, my childhood friend. And we see each other maybe once every couple years, but it is like that. We get together and we're like, and we are pretty parallel. Like, neither one of us are married yet. We've both done a couple long, you know, relationships, but haven't done the marriage thing. She says she wants kids. I don't. But it is very crazy that.
Right.
Wow. And we met in kindergarten. When did you meet yours?
She was 10 and I was 11.
That's still, wow, crazy.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about how similar our lives. Weird.
It's awesome.
Speaking of updates, Tara's succulent class. I want to talk about this because I can't commit to it yet, but I want to. I just have to wait and see. The calendar is always like this until it falls into place.
That's the same here, but I really want to go to it, so I'm hoping to.
Tara Dover was on the podcast last week, and she let us know that she is having a succulent class coming up on April 10th at 6:30 p.m. It's the Spring Terrarium Building Succulent Garden Workshop. All you have to do is go to sharedenver.com, search for Tara Dover, and sign up ahead of time. It's $30 or $35, and that covers everything that you'll need for the class. And I've been sharing it like crazy on Two Girls. It'll be shared more because I did schedule that to be shared. So you'll be able to find it there, and let's help her.
It would be cool. I envy green thumbs. I really do, because I am not at all.
But she's like this earthy green thumb. Did you hear her talk about getting rid of stuff?
Yeah.
You ready to get rid of your shoes, Carrie?
No, not my shoes and not my clothes. But other than that, I could probably teach those classes to, to declutter, because we
are surrounded by junk here in the basement.
I naturally declutter because I don't like
I'm
stuff.
The same way. I'll throw stuff away. But Steve will admit it's bad. Like, he has computers over there, and he's like, there's important stuff on there. And I'm like, do you even know if they're going to turn on again to get that important stuff off? Right. And how important is it? You haven't touched it in 10 years.
Yeah, I figure it's
I can see it's probably pictures and stuff like that. I don't know. But
I'll toss those out too.
Declutter the clothes? I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
we were pointing over there. I have all my summer clothes.
I do declutter some of my clothes.
But then you buy more.
Yeah, that's why I declutter.
That's the circle of life.
Of course.
Tara, she's amazing. I actually stopped by her shop yesterday, but it was closed.
Oh, it's so cute too.
It is. It's adorable. And so it was my bad. I was 30 minutes after they closed.
I love her for knowing even less about celebrities than I know about.
Right.
That
if you notice,
awesome.
we have very minimal when it comes to the Hollywood happenings. But before we hit that, let's do Woman Crush of the Week.
Okay.
You go first.
No, you go first.
Okay. So my first car, it was a Geo Metro. It was white. It got handed down to me from my mother. And when I got it, the FM radio did not work. which sucked. I was 16 in 1996, and I was like, what the heck? Like, it didn't have a CD player, of course. It had a tape player, but it would eat my tapes half the time. So I was stuck listening to AM radio. And my big thing back then, and it is still today when I get frustrated, I want to drive. It just clears my mind. And so I would drive in my Geo Metro listening to AM radio, and I was so excited to find this lady because she was smart, she was strong, and she wasn't sports. Dr. Laura. I love Dr. Laura. I'm bad at her last name, Schlessinger. Is that right? So her strong personality and intelligence drew me in at 16 years of age. I haven't really listened to her much. I think there was some controversy over the last couple years. A
lot of controversy over Dr. Laura.
I don't listen to things I don't want to. I'm like, I don't want to hear that she's bad. I like her. So I haven't listened to her a lot, but she came up, I think it was Joyce Brothers last week. She was my Woman Crush of the Week. And I saw a good quote from Dr. Laura, and I was like, bam, that's next week. I love her. And
I do love Joyce Brothers.
She is controversial. She'll tell you how it is, and I love that about her. She'll give her readers and her listeners a peace of mind when it comes to moral living and leading a successful family life. And I found this great quote. It's, "This is all you have. This is not a dry run. This is your life. If you want to fritter it away with your fears, then you'll fritter it away, but you won't get it back later." I love that. So what do you think of Dr. Laura? You said you were excited to talk to me about Dr. Laura.
My opinions about Dr. Laura?
If you don't like Grey's Anatomy, I've accepted. If you don't like Dr. Laura, I can accept that too.
Okay, that's good.
That's good.
No, I think she can give some good advice. There is a lot of controversy around her. I think I have the same issue with her that I have with some of those ultra-conservatives, is that it's very judgy. You know?
She is.
She's very, very judgy, and I always think, who are you to tell us what our morals, you know? There's some that probably should just be common sense, and I always think that sometimes she's given opinions on things that she doesn't really know anything about. You know, and I know there's people who think that, you know, some of my blog stuff, like where I'll talk about, you know, very easy women and stuff. I lived that, though. I lived it. I've been there. I've been in that position. And I can never quite figure out where she stands on gay rights.
And maybe she does that on purpose.
Yeah, because
I'm wondering if this day and age you don't reveal your stance because it's probably not popular. That's me guessing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and that's what I've heard. I've heard conflicting views on that, whether she is an advocate for gay rights or not. It's also been kind of interesting, too. I've heard recently, you know, she had a kind of a religious stance, although not Christian. She was Jew. She was Orthodox Jew. So she had this pretty religious stance. And then it seems like over recently, she doesn't really have that anymore. She's not so religious. She's still very conservative. I think she can sometimes give some pretty good advice, but one of the things that's advice I don't like, and I do challenge, is she thinks if you have kids, you should not divorce, period. And I have some real big problems with that, because I think if you're in a very unhappy marriage, whether there's abuse or not, if you're in an unhappy marriage, I don't want to teach my children that they should just suck it up and stay unhappy, you know?
And I don't agree with that either.
Right.
And that kind of goes back to her quote. It's a dry run. It's your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Live it.
Exactly.
So she kind of contradicts herself.
Well, she contradicts herself quite a bit, because like she's very opposed to technology. She's very opposed to, and
her website is very savvy.
Particularly men should not be on Facebook. So she has kind of these views.
I wonder if her husband had.
I don't know, but she has these views that like men can't. I don't know. It's almost like men can't help themselves, and they're the ones that are so bad and more likely to cheat. And in all honesty, I've known more women who cheat than men. Yes. Because I think women are kind of conditioned to always look for the next best thing, you know?
Are we?
No, I think and that's just been my experience, but she kind of has that. So she has that technology is bad and smartphones are bad. And then you invite people to go like your Facebook page.
Right.
At the same time, though, I think there's some things that she's right on the money. And I think she can give some very, very